Hey folks, Valentin the Mad here, and today we'll be looking at the blood effects in War Mongrels. It is a Commandos-inspired top-down tactics game by the team who made Hatred. Brutal combat is not much of a focus here, but the game is not shying away from showing the ugly sides of war, and it seems like it has some cool things going for it with character responses too, so that is what we're going to be checking out in this video. Now, let's get right into it and see what we have. First up, there is no dismemberment or any kind of big mutilation, but you will be seeing blood on characters as sort of shrapnel wounds, which is pretty cool. And you will be seeing this kind of a blood-soaked response for all things, essentially. For the various takedown moves, you'll be seeing blood appear where it should. The bear trap will get the leg bloody. The response for those is pre-made, as you would expect, but for things like the throwing knife and the sniper rifle, you will actually be seeing the blood soakage appear at the point of impact. So not in a few pre-made spots, but rather actually where you hit the character, which is very important. Another cool touch is that you will be seeing your character gradually get bloody as you carry dead bodies around. The main issue in this aspect is some inconsistency with wounds sometimes not appearing during the machine gun sections. But those are far from being the main focus of the game, and in the stealth tactics part, the response will be very decent and solid. Nothing amazingly gory, it's not gonna blow you away, but for this type of a game, it will get the job done. In the blood spitting side, you'll generally be seeing response stains on the instances when you would expect. So for the various knife takedowns, for gunfire hits, and even when you drop a dead body. And after the character falls, you will be seeing a blood pool form below him. That feature is done quite well. The color is good, the patterns are good, and if you pick up a character while the pool is still forming, the formation will stop and a new one will form where you drop him. So, in theory, you have a very decent basic response. However, there are issues. The response stains generally look good for gunfire, but as you often have it, the same stains are used for everything, including the knife takedowns and even punching. So I do think that melee specific stains for the initial hit, that would make a difference. At the moment, the main thing that delivers a strong effect for the takedowns is the blood pool that forms after the character falls. Not so much the stain on the initial stab. The second issue is simply bugs, and this is actually the big one. You very often won't see response stains for stabbing. Sometimes you will see response stains but no blood pools. And in some cases there will be just nothing. Now the latter two are not all that common. The blood pools generally are fairly consistent, but those still happen more than they should. Now as for the mess in the long term, bodies will stay throughout the whole game. Hiding bodies is a key gameplay feature. And as for the blood, you do have a setting for decals, and they do seem to stay until you start loading saved files or until you hide a body in a sewer. Yeah, that's a thing I accidentally found out. So, as a general rule, I haven't seen blood vanish in front of me during gameplay, but I don't know if it's gonna stay for the entire level if you manage to make a completely clean run. As for the animations, obviously you have the takedowns and those are good. But you also have very decent death animations for the throwing knife and the sniper rifle. Those look quite nice and weighty. What doesn't look very good are the death animations for when they're charging at you. And the environmental kills are also just a simple ragdoll, so they don't deliver a particularly strong effect. In the bottom line, for the stealth action gameplay, the game delivers very decent basic feedback. The key for a responsive feel is an adequate amount of attention in every aspect, and we mostly have it. You see blood at the point of impact for every hit or takedown, the blood pools look good, and the animations for the stealthy kills also get the job done. The key issues are bugs with the spilling, and I do think that with better stains for the melee takedowns, it will deliver a stronger effect. Now as for the game gore aside, I largely enjoyed it. The looks are great, the concept is good, the story and the dialogues are engaging, and I find the gameplay to be quite awesome. Essentially, this is the kind of riddles I personally like. You have the locations, the enemy placement, their movement patterns, your characters and their abilities, the in-game rules, and now it's up for you to resolve the situation with all of those factors taken into account. But the biggest issue with the game at the moment, the reason I largely enjoyed it, that is the bugs. There are many of them, from various AI glitches to really game-breaking bugs. Now, I didn't have any crashes, but I did have the following. I blew my cover, so I wrote an autosave. Once the game is loaded, my characters are completely stuck, couldn't move anywhere. On another instance, after loading a save file, the throwing knife was just gone, and that left one of my characters with no means of silent takedowns. In both times I lost about 20 or 30 minutes of progress, which definitely sucks. So, in the current state, despite enjoying the gameplay, I can't recommend it. But, once the main issues are ironed out, it will definitely be worth checking out. So, that's it for today. Do let me know how you feel in the comment section, and if you enjoyed the video, subscribe and share it around. And consider supporting the channel on Patreon. For $1 a month you get these videos a week early, you get the interviews a week early, and you help out the channel. So a big thank you to all the Patreon members, and consider joining as well. Also, if you like the music you hear in the intro, outro and in the background, the YouTube and Spotify playlists are in the description. Until next time.